How's everybody doing so far?
Woo!
Sweet. That's good. So that was kind of my attempt at a love poem. But I also wrote this other poem. It's called Picture Perfect. I don't know how many people have heard it, but it's kind of like, it was the first understanding that I had about what love could be, right? Like the real kind of like been together for 40, 50 years kind of love. Not like that high school, like hiding in the corner of the basement by the locker rooms making out. That's not that kind of stuff. But this is that long term, like the kind of stuff that I was writing about in this Scrabble poem. This was the first time that I really kind of had a better understanding of what that was. And it took the death of my grandfather for me to think back on it, even way after his death, to think back on what I saw and what I experienced in writing this poem. I just wrote this poem a couple years ago, but it was in reflecting and writing this poem that I thought back on that, and it made me really understand deeper what love is and what love can be. And not just love, but relationship and partnership. So this is called Picture Perfect. Their beds were always across the room from each other, situated head to foot so they could always see one another when they woke up in the morning. I could always feel the rush of memories gushing into their eyes as soon as we crossed the threshold into their room. The wooden floor underneath us, laughing at how big we've become, the air, soft and welcoming like a hug, as if it too had remembered us. Sometimes I wonder what love might have felt like at that age. Under those particular circumstances, when the only intimacy I remember witnessing was of them wheelchaired next to one another, smiling melancholy for the camera, the dust of the dirt road in front of their house on Milmo in Laredo, attaching itself to the windows behind them, the aroma of homemade tortillas filling the space between us. I wasn't sure she loved him until one night. During one of the vacation trips there, after my grandfather had passed, when she opened up her heart and cried, dull, solemn, and sustained like a howl, as if he was the moon making his monthly visit in her sleep. I didn't know how to miss him until then. We never experienced each other the way we could have, because the distance between Milwaukee and Laredo kept our memories from taking root, and all I'm left to remember is his sharp, vulgar tongue, whose words cut easily into flesh, hair as white as time could account for, skin the color of loss, and the light blue pajamas that he always seemed to be wearing with button-up top, accented by white lines on cuffs and collars. The only picture we own is of him, laying in a hospital bed, similar to the one he had grown accustomed to, but without my grandmother to greet him, my mother standing to his left, holding back tears she knew would have to fall eventually, my brother on the opposite side of the bed, leaning in to make sure he got in the picture, his smile covering up the reeling thoughts of death's looming horizon, and me, standing next to him, leaning in, feeling closer than I ever felt to my grandfather. He didn't really smile for the picture. He didn't know to do so. And taking it over would not have produced a different result. His eyes, blue as the fading pajamas he was wearing and empty as the collection of memories he had of me, told us everything he wanted us to know in that moment.